What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, I'm going to show you 5 tips on how to get more cinematic footage on your Osmo Pocket 3 while filming during the day. So let's jump into it. Okay, so my first tip is to shoot a lot of different angles while filming on the Osmo Pocket 3. Adding a variety of different angles to your B-roll and the footage you're out capturing, once you get into the edit, can really help make your final video very cinematic. I know once you have your Osmo Pocket 3 out, you are going to want to just stay at eye or chest level, but don't be afraid to get low and high to achieve a more cinematic look with your Osmo Pocket 3. I went so crazy once where I was putting my Osmo Pocket 3 on a monopod and putting it 10 to 12 feet in the air just to give a little bit more variety to my shots I was capturing and add to an overall cinematic look to the final video I was putting together. Okay, so my next tip is to get out during sunset and sunrise to film with the Osmo Pocket 3. This camera does such an incredible job at this time during the day, and the light you are capturing during sunset and sunrise is super cinematic. It's beautiful, your shadows are going to be extra long, and you're going to have so much more texture to the footage you are capturing during sunset and sunrise. A little bonus tip I do have for you is don't be afraid to shoot into the sun with the Osmo Pocket 3. The Osmo Pocket 3 can produce some beautiful flares. While I was out in Las Vegas, I was waking up early in the morning and going out during sunrise to capture footage, and I was shooting directly into the sun, and I was so impressed with the flares I was able to capture on the Osmo Pocket 3. One thing you do have to keep in mind though is when shooting into the sun, you do want to keep your exposure down so you're not blowing out the sun and you're maintaining those highlights in your footage you are capturing. Okay, my third tip is to use ND filters and Promist filters on your Osmo Pocket 3 during the day. When you use an ND filter on your Osmo Pocket 3, you're going to be able to bring your shutter back down to 1/50th if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, or 1/120 if you're shooting 60 frames per second. And using an ND filter is going to allow you to bring that shutter back down, which is going to give you a very smooth motion blur to your footage. Also, it is going to have that little touch to make your footage a little bit more cinematic. I also love using a Promist filter during the day. This is going to give your daytime footage a little bit more of a dream look, and also those highlights are going to begin to bloom. This is a great way to achieve a more cinematic look on your Osmo Pocket 3. Okay, my fourth tip is to look for unexpected shadows while filming on the Osmo Pocket 3 during the day. When the sun begins to set, you're going to start getting a lot of long shadows, and if you're walking around a city, you're going to start seeing a lot of different shadows and highlights in your scene, and adding this texture to your footage can really help lend it to a more cinematic look. I was recently in Barcelona and I was walking around with my Osmo Pocket 3 during the day, and I was able to capture a ton of different shadows with my Osmo Pocket 3, and I think this really lent itself to capturing a little bit more cinematic footage during the day with my Osmo Pocket 3. Now my last tip, which I think is the most important tip, is to shoot slow motion during the day. The Osmo Pocket 3 does an incredible job at shooting slow motion. I love shooting at 50 and 60 frames per second during the day and slowing it back down. And when you slow that back down to 24 frames per second, it is 2 to 3 times slower when you play back the footage, and it looks incredible. Like I said, I was recently in Spain and I was out and about in Madrid shooting slow motion on my Osmo Pocket 3, and I am very impressed with the footage I was able to capture there. This footage feels very cinematic to me, and I am very happy I shot in slow motion while walking around the city. Awesome, well thank you again guys for tuning into my video. I hope you learned something. As you can see, the Osmo Pocket 3 does an incredible job at capturing cinematic footage during the day, and these tips can be implemented no matter where you are shooting. I also listed a couple videos I think will be helpful in my show notes, so check those out. Please like and subscribe to my channel because you know it helps my channel grow, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.